This game's called Give 'em the Boot, presented by Tecovas. So what's going to happen is we do not have any Tecovas boots today, but after this episode,
weather-related. We would have had them, but the
weather-related
weather.
Tecovas, we have Archie's comp code, and we're going to pick out a great pair of boots after this episode. 4 questions.
Oh.
Okay? And
All
it's
right.
in this crash landing beanie, and you're allowed to give one of them the boot.
All right.
So if you see a question you don't like and it's the first one you give the boot, that means you have to answer the other 3.
All right.
So you don't have to give any of them the boot either.
Okay.
All right. Go for it.
And do I read the question
Yep.
aloud and then? Oh, I think I took 2. All right. This makes me nervous because you wrote these. Ooh, dream hunt that I would go on. I'm going to be cheesy. I've already done it.
Let's hear about it.
I was with my dad. I've sat with my dad for 2 of his first deer. Usually it's the opposite. Your dad sits with you for your first deer. Again, I talked about my dad. He really isn't that into hunting, but he's into us spending time together. He knows I love hunting. And again, you'll get to know my dad. You just have to see him. Old man. Yeah, Dad, you're old. Gray hair, ponytail down to his back. Has trouble getting, he's got a messed up shoulder, knees from working. Like, you should see him try to get dressed. It's sad, but it's funny. Like, his shoulder's so messed up. There's times like, son, can you come help me? And he can't see, squint. So the fact that we even have killed a deer, more or less one with the crossbow too, that's the dream. Was the rifle was the first, and then we killed one with the crossbow. And again, I just look at that experience, and I've got really into filming my hunts. I've got both the kills on film. I've got the GoPro. And like, again, you want to talk about like, when did you get it? You're talking about baseball and like hunting and what this is about. Like, I shot the biggest deer of my life the next day after killing that deer with my dad. And I couldn't stop talking and thinking about that hunt with my dad over this 188 I just killed.
I think it's very underrated, and I talk about this a lot. And we can.
Is that an answer?
Yeah, that is. That's
okay.
great. You can probably argue about it on a golf course as well, but there's nothing like building relationships in a tree stand, in a duck blind, on a boat, fishing. Like, that is the place to build relationships, and I think you can speak about it with your dad, your beautiful, your way better half wife Reagan, because she probably outshoots you. But like, you've had great experiences being outdoors, and that's what I love about it. It's like, I can sit here and I can talk about this lifestyle that me and you do every day, but it's the people that have never done it.
Yep.
I think COVID helped a lot too,
100%.
Bringing people outdoors, but it's like, guys and girls, like, get outside. I don't care if you're even bringing a gun, but the relationships that you build in a deer stand, in a duck blind, on a boat is just like second.
Well, they're
to none.
everlasting. People ask me all the time, do you hunt your whole life? You hunt growing up? No. I think one of my dad's buddies took me on a hunt when I was 8 or 9. I didn't hunt again till I was 16 or 17. I always think about that hunt when I was 8. We had a duck blind set up, and we had a field behind us, and we had geese set up in the field and our blind. And when we'd hear geese, we'd run and jump behind the silhouettes. And like, I shot a 16 gauge. I didn't even care. I didn't even know, had no choke. Again, I still remember those details. I still remember all that. And like, even still today, like, I mean, you heard me today in the blind, like, I get giddy, like the gun smoke, the powder, the cold air. And again, you want to talk about, again, jokingly but seriously, understanding the grind a little bit about what people do. I mean, we run a great operation. It's fancy, all that, but dude, I grind with our guys. I'm out there breaking ice, setting up decoys, pulling. I mean, call it work. It's work. I'm working with the guys. And again, even more so, that's why I say it that way. I'm very hesitant when I give people advice or talk about money or work, because I know they can immediately point like, dude, you played baseball. Shut up. You're right. Doesn't mean I don't understand it. Doesn't mean I haven't worked or I don't understand the value and the purpose and what I believe, you know, like you said, just good core people who know that they're not going to make much, but they get up and go do it because it's how they provide and it's how they live. And to finish it up, there's lessons in the outdoors that you just cannot teach or find another way to help a kid or young person understand how this is going to help them in life. It's a hunt and it's a little thing, but it's why you don't shoot early. Well, that's the law. Why? And it's a safety, you know, small thing, but it builds, and you're talking about, you know, helping people, giving back. There's just opportunities and experiences that happen in the outdoors that don't happen with a video game or a TV on in your house.
There's a safety element. There's a farming element. There's a conservation element. You can go on and on. I totally agree. That's great, man. I love that first one. Question number 2.
Number 2. Toughest batter you faced, Freddie Freeman. I could talk about a lot. I faced Trout. I faced Shohei, Mookie Betts. Mookie's up there. Nolan Arenado.
But you knew Freddie right off the rip. I mean,
I think I've struck Freddie out. I don't know. I'm sure there's guys that have better numbers. But when I look at a guy that realistically, even in my prime, I've got nothing for outside of like maybe sneaking a high fastball by him if I'm throwing 98, 99 and I sneak one, get lucky. But he's at least for me, left-handed. This owns me. Best hitter.
Not just for you. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, I think now he's 2-time World Series.
Yeah, 2-time World Series. MVP. He's got MVP. I don't know how many All-Stars. I mean, he's been the model of not above consistency. I mean, his career average, his homers, he talks about, like, if you watch him take BP too, like people say, like, oh, this guy doesn't try to hit homers. He doesn't. It's the most boring round of batting practice. He hits line drives over shortstop and like little ground balls and stuff. And then he hits homers, and I think he's just one of the best contact, like, ball hitters in the big leagues ever.
When the moment is there, the brightest lights, he shows up.
I mean, that grand slam in game 1.
You kidding?
I think it was game 1, whatever the game.
Yeah.
It was electric. Couldn't have been. What's your best locker room story? Man, there are so many. Okay, I'll tell one that is safe to tell. Yeah. One of the best things that happens in the locker room, celebrate game stuff, is what's called the beer shower. You familiar?
Yep.
So beer showers are special celebrations for usually a rookie or a career milestone, i.e. your first win in the big leagues, your first career homer. Not your first hit, your first strikeouts, those are more, but the bigger first. It's terrifying. You walk in, like my rookie, my first game in the big leagues. You go in, shake hands, do media. Bradley, get in the car. Get in the fucking car. No, get in there. Just your underwear, rookie. So I hop in this big laundry car, and I'm like, what's about to happen? And guys are lined up like a celebration wedding tunnel. Like, all of them have beers, and this is where it gets all mayonnaise, ranch, ketchup, coffee creamer, baby powder, mustard, hot sauce. You go on and on. They wheel you in the showers, and all the guys surround you. And basically, there's always like a leader or a guy who says a little like, Archie, your first win. Not only that, you got a hit off Clayton Kershaw, and you beat Clayton Kershaw. Welcome to the fucking big leagues. And just everyone starts opening beers and just starts beer showering you, along with mustard, ketchup, all this stuff. But it is just you lose your breath. It's so cold. And then the powder, and you're shooting your mouth, and it's just like, but it's you want to talk about what I hope everyone gets to play one day in the big leagues. That gets there. But I hope everyone gets to experience a big league beer shower in the clubhouse from your guys you've looked up to, guys you've worn their jerseys in high school, watched them play, win World Series, baseball cards. They're now showering you with beer for an accomplishment you had in the big leagues. And then getting to be a part of one, again, even cooler. Getting to welcome a rookie to the big leagues, like, especially a couple years later in my career, I'm the rookie, get in the car, beer shower. Boys, grab the Coors, let's go. And guys, again, now guys are getting milk jugs and making mixtures of stuff. It's gross, but it's the ultimate, like, welcome to the show, kid. You're here.
That's awesome, man. I love that.
I'm not going to boot any of these, just so you know, Tecova. It's
we took it easy on you a little bit.
Best teammate you've ever had, man. That's so tough. That really is.
You've had a bunch.
I've had a bunch.
Good ones.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of good ones. Gosh. You'll have to look them up. There's a kid, and purely not when I say this, TJ, I love you. Not that you're not a great guy, but like, not the best player, not even like one of the like greater guys, or a guy that like I'm gonna be best friends with. TJ's a great friend of mine, but a kid named TJ McFarland. Again, people are like, never heard of him. Exactly. Guy's probably got close to 10 years in the big leagues. He's a lefty. He's the ultimate guy who up and down, replaced, and then kind of found his niche and groove. And I've watched him essentially accept that he's and again, I say this comfortably because TJ has had some great years in the big leagues, and he's pitched really well. And even the last few years had some really good years. But the start of his career, he was kind of up there because he wasn't good enough. He was cheap, and teams could move him around and stuff. People talk about understanding how blessed, and like TJ, like never complained. Took the ball. I mean, I go back to our 2017 season. He was like second on the team in ERA, but he was like the long guy. He pitched when we were up big or down big. He never pitched in winning games, never pitched when it was close. But just again, ultimate team guy. I mean, funny, played cards, drank with the boys, practical jokes, funny outfits. But
he's a guy you want in the locker room.
Yeah, he's a guy, again, like, not to discredit when I said he's not, like, my best friend ever, but you know what I mean? Like, I have some guys I play with that are my best friends, and they weren't my greatest teammate. You know what I mean? Like, when I value teammate, that is an honor or a word that I value more than anything. Like, people say this, but I truly mean this. If people talk about my career, that's awesome, but I hope people talk about the teammate I was. Because I value winning and team atmosphere, because being a great teammate – ultimately is people talk about when putting the team in front of yourself, putting millions of dollars behind you to win a game in front of your family, in front of your aspirations, your goals. I'm going to do something that I know isn't going to make me money or bring me gain or any notoriety, and I'm going to do it to win this game. As a grown man, I find that one of the most impressive, selfless things, which some people are like, that's crazy. It's not. I can't tell you. I bet if you were to poll the big leagues, 60, 70, 65% of guys aren't true winner teammates. They would pick dollars and personal thing over winning a game or winning a series or winning.
That a lot right now.
Yeah, I mean maybe higher than that, but TJ was a teammate. He was a guy, and he's again why I say no one's heard of him, and I wanted to point out he may have already gotten 10 years. Like, just incredible. A guy like that to grind, never been talked about, never been interviewed, but doesn't again like. As a reliever, especially, to be a funny guy or a guy that talks in the clubhouse, like, you got to have some stones because you're a reliever. You get 3 outs. Like, shut up, dude. Like, so you got to be a guy that's about winning, about being a team guy. And that's TJ McFarland.
It's a great answer.
So, TJ, love you, dog.
Give him the boot, presented by Tecovas. I love that game.
Yeah.
Really get to know somebody.